Coming up on this edition of VCU In Depth, documentaries from students in VCU's Robertson School of Media and Culture.
We'll start off by looking at misconceptions of paganism and the practices of modern pagans.
And then we'll meet a VCU student who takes on the roles of basketball coach, mentor, and friend to a group of young inner-city girls.
VCU In Depth begins right now. Hello, and welcome to this edition of VCU In Depth. I'm Marhisha Maldonado.
And I'm Dan Gatanis. Thanks for joining us as we feature documentaries from undergraduate students in VCU's Robertson School of Media and Culture. Pagans hold religious beliefs other than those of the main world religions.
For centuries, the word pagan has evoked negative connotations from heathen to devil worshiper, or even a long-nosed woman with green skin.
What many do not know is how those who are part of this faith practice what they believe.
Breaking the spell of these ideas is the subject of this documentary that takes us into the homes of a group called Richmond Out of the Broom Closet.
I hear the word witch. Honestly, I kind of think of a Disney movie.
Like Salem witch trials, that sort of thing.
Old, like Halloween costumes.
Cast spells, harm people.
In what sense? Like the fictional characters?
With long noses, cauldrons.
Sorcerer. A broomstick and like a big boiling pot. The Wicked Witch of the East in Wizard of Oz. She scared me as a child.
Derogatory terms.
Snow White.
Spells.
This is Tam. She is a practicing Wiccan and founder of pagan group Richmond Out of the Broom Closet. Tam started the group to connect with other pagans in the area.
As a small child, my mom was Baptist, and she met my stepfather, and he was Catholic. So we were raised Catholic, and I usually introduce myself as, "Hi, my name is Tam. I'm a recovering Catholic."
Just outside of Richmond, Shelley Boatsenhart lives with her daughters. She is a solitary witch and a new member of Richmond Out of the Broom Closet.
The witch is in, and the witching hour is upon us.
I was raised Catholic, got into a situation where my parents were very adamant that something was wrong with me because of all the other things I was able to see, and it was just easier at that point to conform. Plus, around my teen years, I also really became kind of like a magnet for other entities going on, and if you're not trained and you don't know how to control that, then it's just scary. So I just kind of shut all that down, will be Catholic, married a proper German Catholic man at 18, which culturally was what I was supposed to do, and then I had my daughters, mostly Victoria. As she became a teen, there were things that I saw in her and I was like, wait a minute, I remember who I am. And she reminded me.
I really helped her in kind of realizing, her path and what she went back to. And as we were both learning these things together, she would look at me and she would go, "This makes so much sense now. Yeah. This is why I was this way when I was little," and everything kind of just came back to her.
Dr. Leanne Craig, professor of medieval history, explains what pagans actually believe.
You're talking about a faith community with a real focus on pagan, right? Historically pagan. Notions of polytheism, to some degree animism, the notion that the world is imbued with many spiritual forces and spirit entities. Folks who like the notion of being comfortably in contact, with those entities or spirit forces, and in Wicca in particular, with attempting to bend or manipulate them in ways that are positive and beneficial for themselves and others.
However, this is not what pagans find outsiders think of them. So why is that?
we are the bad guys, we are the devil worshippers, we are
the reason
for the problem.
It's not Christian. It's not what they're used to. People fear what they don't know.
You've got the conversion moment, and then you've got the heresy hunting moment in the later Middle Ages, and that adds to the negativity, because the picture of the witch as the demon worshiper or the Satan worshiper, and as the committer of maleficia, that is bad deeds from the Latin, it's the root word for maleficent's name, really comes from that moment historically, and then it carries forward for a few hundred years as we hunt witches. And then there's the 19th century revival of a notion of polytheist worship, mixed to some degree with ritual magic, that blooms into modern neo-paganism.
So I want to do a protection spell. Let's say I feel like someone is coming against me. I'm not going to curse that individual, but I am going to want to increase protection for myself. I'm dressing the candle. I'm going to start from the bottom, and I have a line in here. I'm using black because it's going to draw in the negativity that is being brought against me and then burnt away. So, all acts of negativity will now return to thee. All bad you try to send my way, upon yourself will hold sway. All actions, thoughts, and words of hate become your own decided fate. And for the second half of the spell, I'm going to start from the top and work my way in. Now, if I had a particular individual, I could even carve their name before I dress, and I would normally use a language I'm not familiar with, like Theban, because it just takes more concentration, more of my energy and my thought and intent is going into it. By all up high, the worlds and wise, by oceans wide and deep blue skies, by day and night and powers three, this is my will. So it must be harm to none, nor return on me. None, a lot of times I will just, if I had a particular individual or particular situation that I felt was really coming against me, I would think about seeing that situation resolved and imagining it, resolved to my benefit. But I would have a candle that is already lit, and light the spell candle from that. It's so little. And then again, it's gonna set there, so it's dressed. And a lot of people, again, will want their dressing to actually dry, but I actually enjoy the scent. So, and then it will burn all the way down. And so essentially that is the spell. So my intent has been pushed into the spell to gather up the negativity that's being brought against me, and then either just sent back into the earth, or in this case, actually returned back, repelled back to the person or the situation causing the problem.
Shelley's daughter Victoria frequently reads tarot cards to help people determine their paths.
So this is going to be your past, present, future, then your body, mind, and soul. And these three are either going to confirm or change the meaning of these. And all that fun stuff. Interesting. And yes, the way they are positioned does actually matter. If they're upside down towards me, that gives a different meaning. Holy crap. The swords are the future, and again, I don't read futures, I very much read paths, so this is essentially saying on the path that you are on right now, this is a very possible result.
For me, I think it has more to do with my personality than my spirituality. There's two sides of me, there's voluntarism and there's spirituality. I started 2 groups the same time that I started the Out of the Broom Closet. The other group is called Richmond Volunteers. So there's 2 sides of TAM. There's volunteerism and there's spirituality. And between the 2 groups, I fulfilled who I am. My goal in life is to help others, whether it be spiritually or volunteering.
So, when people are like, well, I could never be a witch, or there must be something different about you that you have to be a witch, you just have to be open. You have to be tuned in.
We're not scary. That we're just people trying to get through life the best way we know how to. And most of us are more than willing to be helpful, not only to our community, but the community as a whole.
Awesome. I'm still thinking about doing that path out there, so that'd be cool.
I'm Bill Oglesby, an assistant professor in VCU's Robertson School of Media and Culture and the instructor for the documentary class. With me this evening are Darianne Montgomery and Rachel Kingery, who produced the Breaking the Spell documentary. Good job, guys. Darianne, let me start with you. What inspired you to choose this particular topic?
Well, last summer in my hometown, a shop called Charmed opened up in Lynchburg, and it catered to the Wiccan community there. And after spending some time there and reading the books and talking to the people, I realized that there was a large negative stigma attached to that particular faith community. And I've always been really interested in religion and spirituality. So I started doing my research and looking for groups in Richmond, because Richmond also has a very large pagan community as well. And after doing some research, I discovered a group on Meetup called Richmond Out of the Broom Closet, and I met with the leader of the group and told her what we were hoping to do, and she agreed that she would be happy to reach out to us and other people in the group.
Okay. Rachel, what was your favorite part of doing this documentary?
I think just getting to know the people that we interviewed and getting to know more about the religion, because I didn't really know anything about it beforehand, and just kind of seeing that they're really normal, nice people. Everyone we talked to was really nice. Was there any particular takeaway from the experience that either of you got?
Just that everybody's going to have their own ideas about religions, and I think that the best thing that anybody can really do is just take the time to sit down with people within different cultures or religions, and once they get to know them, they may realize that what they think about them may be wrong.
Huh. Okay. Did you go in with a lot of sort of misconceptions about it? Did you learn a lot by doing it?
I definitely learned a lot. It wasn't so much that I had misconceptions about it, but I knew that a lot of other people had misconceptions that they were Satanist or they were devil worshippers or whatever it may be.
Okay. All right. Well, I've been speaking with Robertson School students Darianne Montgomery and Rachel Kingery, who did the Breaking the Spell documentary. Thanks for all your hard work.
Thanks.
Thanks, Dr. Oglesby. What happens to a dream deferred? You simply create a new way to make that dream come true.
That's the motto for one VCU social work student who didn't let her lost opportunity at playing collegiate basketball stop her from putting her purpose to practice.
Through her devoted work with a group of inner city girls, Allison Bragaw Butler is positively impacting the lives around her.
We meet Allison in this unique, heartfelt documentary called Overtime.
They've helped me so much more than I could have ever helped them. I'm doing something good and I can see it manifested in someone else. If you ask me 100 times over to go back and have the choice to play collegiate basketball or do this at that time in 2012 when I graduated high school, I would choose this every time.
You can jump in like...
Allison was very focused as a child. She did a lot of self-directed kind of activities, was able to kind of teach herself things like tying her shoes and stuff like that. So she was very committed. When she made a decision, she kind of stuck to it.
And she always, liked to be around people. I think that's a strength of hers, is being around people and making friends and making people feel good about themselves. I also think that she loved sports, and I can remember as early as a year, 18 months, I would take her to basketball games or soccer games, and she would sit there and watch.
I picked VCU because I wanted to be kind of close to home. I also have always had a dream of playing college basketball, and so I had been in talks with the coach at the time about maybe the opportunity of walking on. So when I came, I was hoping to be able to maybe try out and walk on, and then also I've always been really interested in helping people, especially kids, and I wanted to do social work. And VCU has one of the top ranked social work programs in the nation. It was never my intention to come in and, be a coach to begin with. When I wasn't able to play basketball, I had to find something else to occupy my time. I looked up high schools that needed help in the area, and I found the high school, and I went up there and I just asked if I could volunteer, and I actually didn't start with basketball. I started in a reading class. One of the girls in my reading class that I was working in, she gave me such a hard time. But after time, a long, long time, they started warming up to me. So actually I think that basketball helped a lot with that because she was not receptive, and neither were any of the other kids.
In this English class, she had got smart with me, so I got smart with her, and we bumped heads.
I ain't really know her, so it was I
ain't really know it like that. So I guess, I don't know.
She looked a little mean, just a little bit. She had a straight face, like just a straight face, but she can play basketball.
But I found out that she played basketball, and I was like, oh my gosh, this would be perfect. There's another way I can make a positive impact rather than just, sitting around moping about the fact that I didn't get the chance to play.
She's aggressive. If she's coming, I'm getting out the way. She has very good sportsmanship, and she wants everybody to do their best.
I need her to gain some confidence here.
She can get some.
I need her to do something with the ball.
When we got on the basketball court, we were all just playing.
All right, you got that one.
I didn't know I was going to do that. I was going to lay it up for real.
Their love of the game and then my love of the game, we just kind of bonded. Some of the girls live in areas that are relatively safe, and for the most part, I don't really worry about them. But some of them live in areas where it doesn't matter what the time of the day is. If you step outside, you're in danger. There's a really, really dense presence of drugs and prostitution, rape, violent crimes. And so it's a struggle right now. It really is.
Typical day for me, I most likely stay in the house.
It's not hard if you stay in the house.
I realize that this is just so much more. We come in kind of to be like a second mom. But then sometimes I'm their friend, and then sometimes I'm not. Sometimes I'm the bad guy, and that's fine. So coach, big sister, friend, mentor, mom, whatever they need me to be at that moment.
Turn that off. I was playing all day on it. I didn't either. She was like, Mom, I'm going my song. I know. They got
Then it became more like, just not just practicing, that she was hanging out with them more on the weekends, or, just doing outside school stuff with the girls. And it became more of like, this is what my girls are doing, this is what my girls are doing. Like, I'm taking them here, I'm doing this.
If you want something girly, I'll get it for you. That is underwear, that's lingerie.
It's sports bra. It's sports bra. And now,
Please, can you buy it for me?
The girls are, you know, some are seniors, some are juniors, and she has a couple sophomores, so she's just been really involved in making sure that they see the importance of an education or, you know, finishing, you know, doing well with their sports, doing well with school.
So what we're gonna do right now is make a list of the things that you need to do by the next time I see you.
And she's just willing to help. She's been an ancestor to this family. That's what stands out for me. She is so involved. She genuinely cares. You know, she don't surface care. She cares deeply.
I still need you to write it down.
Like, at first I didn't care, but now I care because it's my education. She tells me, like, if I want to play basketball and go the long way, I have to concentrate on school, my work, getting stuff done, and stop joking around in class.
She's not like everybody else. I could just open up to her about anything. Relationships, family, school.
Make sure my grades was on point. Make sure I get to school on time. Pushing me hard in basketball. Always tell her I appreciate stuff that she do for me. Even when I don't have to say it, I still say it. But she don't have to be there, but she chooses.
Hand down, man down, shoot the ball, you're a shooter.
I don't know, I just keep thanking her for being there.
I am so blessed. And if they can get up every day and do everything that they do with all that they face, then there's no reason for me not to get up and do everything that I can do. You know, they play basketball games and go to school and get their homework done and watch their little siblings and do just everyday things that I don't even think, I couldn't even imagine doing under some of their circumstances. And they've just given me like a whole new love for life. They really have.
I don't know, Allison just God sent. She's one of them God sent people, you know. She's like one in a million.
What's up next for Alice?
So next for me is I will graduate May 13th from the VCU social work program. Woo-hoo. I have been afforded the opportunity to play basketball in grad school next year for Virginia State University. So I am, after May 13th, officially a Trojan. I do know that these girls are going to be a big part of my life for the rest of my life. And so that is a constant and that will not change. I have had this past 4 years to make such a difference. At least I hope I've made a difference in these girls' lives.
I love her. But I tell her that every day.
For real, I miss her.
I feel like when I grow up, I want to be just like her. Just like her.
And we're here with the student producers of the Overtime documentary, Brittany Nicholson, Dominique Colbert, and Samantha Federico. Good job.
Thank you.
Brittany, let me start off by asking you, what was your inspiration for all of you to do this story?
Yeah, well, we definitely, among the three of us, I think we all wanted to do a story that was compelling, inspirational, and powerful. And I think when we all thought of Allison's story, we instantly knew that her and her story embodied all of those qualities. So that's really what ultimately inspired us to do it. And we really just wanted people to get to know her and her work and just how positively she impacts everyone around her.
I always think that one of the great things when you're doing a documentary is all that you learn about whatever your subject is. Dominique, what did you learn about from doing this documentary?
Well, I'm actually an aspiring filmmaker, and so I usually work on stories that are that are scripted and fictional. And so working on this was really different. I learned a lot about just being ready to go shoot when working on someone else's schedule, and not having the story as soon as you start shooting, but actually getting it as you're going along and getting the different footage.
It can be tough because you're getting little pieces at a time, and you're not sure when you're going to have the whole story, right?
Yeah, or how it's going to go, so that was cool.
Right. Sam, what would you consider the most rewarding part of doing this documentary?
Well, Bill, there are some great things about the rewards that I have learned. It's just great to see the potential that the girls have. One of them, we didn't include it into the show, but one of them said that they would like to be a doctor when they grow up. And just another rewarding thing is that I'm just from a totally different background, so seeing how they live and what they go through was kind of life-changing for me.
Huh. Were there, what were some of the particular challenges that you faced? Brittany, what about you?
Gosh, I think the biggest challenge for us was just working with the girls. Because they were younger, we were a little nervous that maybe they'd be shy to talk and they wouldn't open up. But I mean, you gave them a few days and they warmed right up to us and they opened up great, and they did a great job.
It was really something to see, even at that one point where it got kind of emotional.
Yeah, it was amazing.
Was that something you were expecting?
Not at all.
We were not expecting that.
Not at all.
But it was really great to be able to have them be open enough to actually do that on camera and just be themselves, which is what we wanted them to do in the first place.
Yeah, that's a good point. It really is tough just to get them to do, be themselves, like you say.
Right.
Yeah. Okay, well, great. Brittany Nicholson, Dominique Colbert, and Samantha Federico, who produced the Overtime documentary. Nice work.
Thanks again, Dr. Oglesby, and all of the documentary students. That does it for this edition of VCU In Depth, and thank you for joining us. I'm Dan Gatanis.
And I'm Marhisha Maldonado. For all of us at VCU In Depth, good night.